Hi, and welcome back. It's August the 1st, 2024. This is Bob from the Two Old Guys Garage. This is segment 1, starting of part 10 of the debacle to try to do a hydraulic slave cylinder on my T10 transmission in my coupe, which I'm backing down and I'm putting everything back to normal. As shown earlier in other segments, it ain't going to work with the Borgenbeck clutch. Anyway, what we're looking at is those are the two 5/8 inch heater hoses that run up to the water pump in front of the engine. And some years ago, the front halves, because of the engine heat and so on, had deteriorated enough that I put those 5/8 to 5/8 couplings for heater hose in and replaced the front half, which is hanging down with the whatchamacallits on it. And you can see they're kind of shitty looking. And they're plated steel, I guess, that's rusted. I'm going to see if I can, well, I'm going to replace them. I'm not going to put those things back in, not when I go to the trouble to do this. And I might have to, if I have enough, hang on a second. If I have enough of the new heater hose, see, this is still soft. I might cut this back a 1/4 of an inch, 1/2 an inch, and redo that end when I do the new coupling. Anyway, caught most of the fluid, didn't spill very much. Had already drained the radiator. And then while I'm under here, there's the famous or infamous push rod to the clutch fork. And you can see from the screw that that's how much I've extended it. And this morning while under here, I extended a little bit more, trying to determine that if I do get a point that where the clutch really truly is free, that's going to happen when that rod is extended more. And in the same subject, watching YouTube videos, I picked up some guy who was doing an external slave cylinder on a T5 transmission and a Cobra 302 in a Miata. And he had a kind of an interesting looking slave cylinder there, and I tracked it down. It's from a Miata 90 to 2005 MX5. And could not find anything except the bore size is 3/4 inch. Couldn't find the stroke length, but it appeared to be longer. So, what the hell? $20 I ordered one. It's coming Saturday, so I'll get back to the slave cylinder come Saturday. So in the meantime, I'm going to try to get out from under the car and stand up. Excuse the video. It's going to probably jiggle a little bit. Christ. Okay. What's wrong? Old man. All right, I'm getting up. I'm up. All right, I've already dismantled the inside here. There's the heater. There's the two ceramic resistors that allows me to center off, put one in the circuit for low speed. No, put two in the circuit for low speed, put one in the circuit for high speed, because it's a 6-volt motor. Have no idea what this came out of. When I was coming home after getting separated from the Navy in '65, I stopped and visited an old hot rodder friend from when I lived in the trailer park. Jim, can't remember his last name. Anyway, he had this and he gave it to me. I took it home in '65 and I started that day working. You see how I cut the shroud away, put as much as possible, and then welded tabs, and then it bolts. Can't see. It bolts there to there, and the two hoses, as you saw earlier, run down. So that's it. I'm going to end this segment 1 again, and I'm going to go eat my lunch. Take care. Bye bye. Hi, No, not October. Shit. What the hell is it? It's August 2nd, next day. Working on the heater, and then as usual, I keep finding more and more things to do. One of the things that I did was when I cut that insulating pad to use it as a shock absorber, the nuts here stuck out further than the pad. So what I decided to do was I took the lock washers and flat washers from this side, reversed them and put them on that side, so that the 1/4 inch nut on this side would go a little bit deeper, at least flush with this thing. So that'll give me a better mount on that. But in the meantime, taking this off of the heater, this is the 2 rheostats, resistors that give me the low and high speed for a 6-volt fan motor running on a 12-volt system. As you can see, the ceramic there broke, probably old. I think I had replaced this one. This is probably the original, so I'll have to dig one of those up and take care of that. And then taking the heater over to the workbench to remove the hoses. Well, you know, like I say, one thing leads to another. When I put this in 1965, November, I think, I cut it down, made it fit, made a bracket, and got it to fit under the dash at the right angle and all that crap and stuff. But I never cleaned it up, never painted it. Probably figuring out that, hey, it's under the dash, nobody's going to see it anyway. But now that I got it out, there's the frame, and I straightened out all the slightly bent fins, cleaned the ends off to accept the new hoses, and when I took this out of this, there's two rubber pads that cushion here and here to the bottom of there. Of course, they're so hard I had to use the wire brush to get them off. So I'm going to have to fix that up. And then on the top half, there was another loose pad. You can see some of the residual there where this other pad was. So I'm going to have to pad it up. And while I got it apart, God forbid, it looks shitty, so I'm going to paint it. Anyway, like I say, this thing keeps expanding. All right, so this is part 10, segment 2. And I'm going to cut this short. Tomorrow, I'm going over to Lou's, and we're going to do a little catch-up on Lou, what he's doing with the hinges on the doors. And then we have a subscriber who contacted us and asked to come visit with us and get some thoughts and ideas and in general shoot the shit, which is really cool. He only lives about 35 miles north, and he's bringing another buddy. So we're looking forward to that session tomorrow, and I'm thinking I'll probably kind of film it as a bullshit session for talking about cars and stuff and see how it goes. All right, with that, I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey there, Bob, Two Old Guys Garage. What is it, August 4th, Sunday, 2024. You can see the new hose laying on the ground. I'm about to start to put the replacement hose into the water heater. What I did the other day was took apart the heater. Not my best paint job, but it looks a hell of a lot better than it did before. Checked everything, replaced the rubber mounts in the bottom and the top so the heater core is cushioned. This is the ground wire. Took it up, cleaned it all up, and put some conductive no-ox on it so that it'll stay free from oxygen. With regards to the dropping resistors, I had that cracked ceramic one. Tried to get clever with it, but it didn't quite work. And what I did was basically wired it together to hold the broken part together, and that worked out all right. It's 24 gauge solid wire. However, when I did a check with an ohm meter across the two contacts, it's the proper 1.4 ohms, but the coil element, that's the resistance, actually stretched apparently, and it's touching the case. So the coil is short-circuiting to ground, and I can't have that because that's a sneak path. So started looking for a replacement of this round puppy, and they're around. Summit has them, Jegs has them, and I found out that they're actually pretty much sourced from Painless Wiring Company, which turns out it's in my backyard in Fort Worth, but they don't sell directly. You want to go through Summit. Well, if I go through Summit, they kind of priced at $13.59, and Summit wants $12.99 to ship a 2 to 3 ounce part, and it gets worse at Jegs. They want $17.99 to ship a 3 ounce part, so I'm not going to do that. If I go to Amazon, I found one on Amazon, but Amazon free prime shipping, and they want $19. I'm not going to pay that kind of money for the thing. Worst comes to worst, maybe later on I'll drive down to the Summits in Arlington, Texas here, and just buy it over the counter. In the meantime, it's summertime. The other day in the driveway, got into my van, and it was 110 in the driveway, so I don't think I need a heater at this time of year anyway. So I get it all together with that part missing, and as a backup, I ordered the rectangular one that's the coil drop resistor, which is also 1.5 ohms, 1.4 ohms. So that'll come as a backup, but kind of looks ugly. Oh yeah, I told you the heater. There it is, my not so good paint job, but overall, who's going to see it? It looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start cutting the hoses to fit and putting that heater in. So I'm going to start at that end and then work my way down under the car. The other possible slave cylinder came in yesterday, and if you look here, yeah, you see the 2 marks. I checked the stroke length, and it's about 1.5 inches. Not sure that that's much more, if any, than the one that's in there. So I'm going to kind of put that aside for now. The holes on center are 2 1/16 inches, whereas the existing Austin Hilly Sprite cylinder on the car is 2 3/8. So I think what I would do is, if I get to put this on, I'll probably slot these so that the minor difference between the on center will put this thing in the middle, and just, you know, it's plenty strong. Yeah, it'll wash. This is an American threads. I wasn't sure what it was going to be. This is the typical 3/16 brake line, 3/8 by 24 thread. What I might try to do if I end up using this is, I know they're already available, is I'll get an adapter from this side to an AN4, and then maybe I'll get some use out of all the AN4 stuff that I got for the unused hydraulic slave cylinder. Anyway, we had a great session yesterday over at Lou's Garage, where we had 2 subscribers come visit us. And I was going to film it, our discussions, but we got so involved with shooting the crap about cars and problems and solutions and stuff that I stopped it and did a little introduction. So that's been published. That's part 30 on the Anglia. And also, if you look at that, we'll see that we might have a way to go with fixing the doors. But anyway, I think it's looking pretty good. It was a good session. So I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to start working on the hoses to put the heater back in. And I'll catch you a little bit later, hopefully. Take care. Bye. Hey, back briefly. I forgot to mention that I got the coupling for the hoses from Amazon, from Evil, whatever, the same source for the heater hose. And this is the nylon fiber one, which is very rigid and better susceptible to heat, and so on, so on. So that'll be what's gonna, oh yeah, got 2 of them, need to. That'll be used, what's gonna join new hose to the old hose. I'll be back again. Hi, I'm back. I'm under the car, obviously. All right, the new hoses are in. That's that away towards the heater. And I cut this one back on the forward side to the engine, back enough. And there's the evil, what do they call them? The nylon fiber connectors, which actually give you a little extra space in there. So these two are tie wrapped. It's the frame. And I picked all the wires and cables and tie wrapped them to the upper located 5/16 gas line. A little story about that. Back in 2003 in the fall and winter, I was driving this car every day to work in Arlington, Texas, 22 miles one way. And I had a situation where if I accelerated, I'd run out of gas in the fuel bowls, and I found out that by turning on the auxiliary fuel pump in the back, I could stop that condition. So it kind of implied that I had something of a vapor lock, maybe. Anyway, one day on a car show with my wife and I, rare occasion she was in the car, the light bulb lit, and what I figured out was that being fall September, I had the manual hot water heater valve on the front of the water pump turned on, and these heater pipes were actually lying adjacent to the fuel line, and it was giving me the heating up and fuel starvation, kind of a vapor lock situation. So what I did was, the gas line at that time was from June of '60, was a copper 1/4 inch. I replaced the line from the back of the tank with a 5/16 steel line and moved it up and clamped it, as you can see, to the upper side. And then I clamped these existing hoses to the bottom, which took care of that problem. But there was a kind of a poser. Well, yeah, another part of that was that the switch for the auxiliary pump was in the far right of the dash, and on the seatbelt driving, I couldn't reach it. And I've since fixed that and moved the switches over to center bottom console where I can reach them while I'm driving. Now you can see, here's the two new heater hoses, and you can see they lay, doing that bend, they're laying tight on that upper part of the frame. What I'm going to do is take a piece of that same hose, scrap about 5 inches long, I'll slit it, and I'll slide it onto this so that this rubber hose will have a rubber contact. And when the heat and stuff gets through it, it'll take a set, because the ones that come out of there were all curly-cued. Okay, I'm going to pause again while I climb out of the ground here under the car without hearing big grunting and groaning. Be back in a flash. Okay, I'm back. Here's the couplers that come out, these steel ones. And I don't know if you can see that. If you look on the inside, bunch of corrosion there. Oddly enough, this one seems to be cleaner. Don't know why, but it's nylon, it's not going to rust anymore. This kind of reminds me of working on water heaters in Southern California, where the water is so hard, when you change the pipes on the water heater, you can't see anything through them because all that crud's built up. That's if you don't have a water softener. Anyway, out of 10 foot of the hose, that's what's left. I'm going to cut about 4 or 5 inches, and I'm going to slit it and put it up back where I just showed you, where the hoses touch the frame. Okay, with that, I think we're going to wrap this up, and I'm kind of late for lunch, and I probably, when I look at the videos here, I might close this up and put it out there, publish it as part 10. Okay, thank you. Take care, everybody.